Good morning. The goal is to understand some of the rhythms for Flowers of the Forest. I know that you're familiar with the 6/8 time where you're counting 6/8 notes on over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or the basic rhythm of Flowers of the Forest, which is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, right over here. But the trick is understanding the dotted 16th and 32nd note rhythms. I'll show you the dotted 16th and 32nd note rhythms in those measures. The triplets, which are kind of a nice review for you. You've done triplets before. But the double dotted 8th, 32nd rhythms, and the inverse, the 32nd rhythm, double dotted eighths. So pause this if you need to look at what measures we're discussing. All right, I'm going to take this in two segments. So first, let's make sure we review what 6/8 time is, and then we'll talk about those 32nd notes. See if I can stand this up in here okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. So whenever you're learning a new piece of music, you look at the fastest rhythm, which in this case is those 32nd notes, the ones with the three beams across the top. And that's the rhythms we have to count. Those are going to be the 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 5E and a 6E and a. But up here is your basic 6/8 rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. And we always say 6, 1, moving into the next measure so that we know the true length of this final eighth note. 6, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what we're working on. It's important to know in all music that things are multiplied in twos. So an eighth is the equivalent of 2/16. So these guys are twice as fast. And a 16th is the equivalent of 2/32. 1/16, 2/32, twice as fast, and that's our fastest rhythm. So it may be a good thing to kind of know, let's see if I have an example. Well, no, let's just go ahead and count through these, and then we'll know how fast our 30 seconds need to sound. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 5E and a 6E and a 1. 6E and a 1. Hear that? How fast that is? 60 and a 1, a 1, a 1. Da dum dum da dum, a 1, a 1. And that's what we need to listen for each of those 30-second notes. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 5E and a 6E and a 1. All right. Now, what about the idea of the dots? This is a little bit tricky, but I think we can explain it in that you know that a dotted quarter is the same as a quarter plus an eighth. Oh, there we go. So it is whatever the notes value is plus the half again as fast. So if a dotted quarter is worth 3/8, a dotted eighth is worth 3/16. Oh, here it is. A dotted eighth is worth 3/16 right there. Okay? And a dotted 16th is worth 3/32. Holy cannoli. Here's my dotted 16th, and it's worth those 3/32 right there. And that kind of makes sense because let's find this 4E and a. All right. So that dotted 16th is 3/32, and that is the rhythm, the dum da dum, 4E and a 5, that you find in measure 2. So let's take a look at our, this is an even better way to see it. Dum da dum. I could set that right here, as a matter of fact. That's my dotted 16th, 32nd, and Flowers of the Forest is it is. Take a look at measure 2 and you'll notice it's a quarter note followed by that dotted 16th 32nd and then another quarter note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. A 4E and a 5E and a 6E and a 1. So your assignment might be to first hear all of your 32nd notes in any of your 16th note rhythms. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 5E and a 6E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 5E and a 6E and a 1E and a 2 and a 4E and a 5E and a 6E and a 1. And then realize that this dotted 16th, where did he just go? Dotted 16th 32nd takes the span of one of these eighth beats. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 5E. Why? Because a dotted 16th is worth 3 32nds. I don't know if that helped. We'll talk about the next rhythm in the next email.